up, y'all? Welcome back to the Top Flight Podcast. You know what it is. You know what we're here to do. Back on screen today, beautiful Austin, Texas. I'm with the boys. We got Bali in here. We got B in here because y'all asked for it. And we got a special guest. We got my G, Scott. I'm starting off with Scott because he is our guest today. Scott, how are you, mate? Welcome to the show.
Uh, Thank you for having me. I appreciate the invitation. Despite the results of the weekend, things are good. Between Austin and United losing, it was not a great Saturday, but things are better now.
United fans, man, boy, we seem to just attract United fans, Real Madrid fans. Eric is also a huge United fan, bro. He always ties in every Austin FC to like Man United. I'm like, Eric, not everything translates or relates to Man United, but he finds a way. He finds a way. So credit to my G, Eric. Bali, how are you doing, bro?
How do you think I'm doing? I mean, how do you think? You think I'm good or bad or what?
We're in eighth place. We're in playoffs. I mean, what more can you ask for? You got Drusy back. You got Diego back. I mean, can you be real?
I'm not good right now. I'm not good, but I'm in there. I'm actually very surprised with the Messi news today, and I'm
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
happy for the MLS, the league all around.
I
So I'm
love
happy.
that.
I'm somewhat happy.
I love that, Bali. We do have Messi to MLS topic here at the end of the show for y'all, so make sure to stick around. But I gotta introduce my boy B. B, how you doing, mate?
Doing good. We're doing good. The Messi news hit as well. So I'm doing fine. Like you said, eighth spot. Playoffs. So we'll be all right, bro. I'm feeling good.
W- How do you feel about my tweet saying I'll take Ethan Finley over
Oh
Leo
my
Messi any
god,
day?
that tweet made me physically cringe. I want to just.
Oh my
I was like,
god.
you know what I mean.
Uh,
But hey, hashtag Verde. So.
you called me a typical MLS
Not
fan.
you.
You called me a typical MLS fan. That's what you said. You said
I said
typical
tip. I
MLS
said
fan.
typical MLS tweet.
I
Oh,
Fans.
honestly,
okay.
I
All
honestly
right.
can't believe you, Hernan. For real. I honestly
Yeah, I
can't
like
believe you.
Polly's reply. Just be serious.
Supporting my guy, supporting my guy. I mean, whenever that becomes illegal, take me to jail, bro. Take me to jail, fam. Whenever it becomes illegal. But I do want to send a shout out to Primo. Want to send a shout out to Eric, the topic and stat contributor of the Top Flight podcast. Also, shout out to our writers at WeareAustinTV.com. We have one here today, my G Scott. Also, shout out to Football Critic, who we have something real interesting cooking up with Football Critic related to the Danny Pereira call up. We're trying to get this big name from ESPN that knows a lot about Venezuela and knows a lot about Danny Pereira to come on the Top Flight podcast for a little bit for a little segment. So tune in, stay tuned. That stuff is going to be coming out soon, and Danny Pereira's call up is also coming up real soon. Shout out to my GJC. Wearing that cowboy hat on FCTV, surprising the world
What?
with the
What?
cowboy
I
hat.
missed
Yeah,
that.
so JC called in to FCTV to George's show to
Hmm.
talk about Wolf Out or Wolf In, and he pulled up with like a cowboy hat, Justin Timberlake style. I loved it.
Damn.
I loved it.
They show up in
It was
person?
wild
I
in the
gotta check
best
it
way.
out.
It was wild. Did not expect it, but you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. This is the Wild West, and the West has been wild. Let's see. For today's show, we're gonna talk about obviously Austin FC, Messi to MLS. We got some Chicho Arango news, and we're gonna talk about Radovanovic as well. But I want to get started off with just a quick, maybe a quick run through of the game that happened versus RSL. I have Bali here. I have B here. We haven't spoke about this game. We also have Scott. I want to go through this game just real quick. It has been spoken about already in the TL and other shows, but I want to get y'all's thoughts, y'all's overall thoughts. And I want to start off with you, Bali, on what happened against RSL. Now, it is important to note that the weather delay did affect Austin FC, did affect RSL as well because they were there too. They were playing. We weren't the only ones that went through that weather. And also the fans, bro. A lot of fans stayed. Obviously, some fans had to leave. But Bali, I want your overall thoughts on the game versus RSL, brother.
Well, I mean, there was a weather delay. There was around a 2-hour weather delay, so the game did stop, and then it came back. But same result. We lost. We crumbled at the end. Not good enough. And it's been happening week in, week out now. We picked up form. We've got a couple wins, but then we see the same result. We saw Drusi come back. We saw the lineup change, and to me, we struggled. We
Mm,
struggled. I feel like we should have kept the old lineup.
mm.
But it is what it is. That's our MVP. That's our captain. Whatever he wants, he gets, right? You know.
Oof.
So
Okay.
it's that's the reality right now. It's at the end of the day, the fans were upset. The Twitter space was all over the place.
Yep.
Fans are not having anymore. The pressure's on, and it's time for for change.
I
That's the
think the
truth.
pressure. I think the pressure is finally being like felt. I think, if anything, because this is a league that really doesn't have a lot of pressures coming out from any other where than just the fans because of the situation that the MLS finds itself. B always says it. It's MLS. There's no risk, no promotion, no risk of going down, I guess B would say. But I'm gonna get to him first. I want to get Scott's thoughts. Scott, your overall thoughts on the match versus RSL? What happened? Maybe some positives, at least. I don't know. Go ahead.
I I don't know what the positives were. I mean, I guess the positives was that the supporter section kept chanting and cheering even during the rain,
Yeah,
which was great.
yeah. There you go.
Uh, Austin looked good. Salt Lake did kind of what Salt Lake does defensively, and they got kind of a scrappy goal early and hung on to it. I thought the rain delay hurt both teams. The second half was really just kind of like disjointed until the end, and Austin just kind of never looked in sync. They never played as a team. They never played with any fluidity. It just looked like 11 guys got thrown out on the pitch and they just kind of did stuff. Like it didn't look like there was any kind of plan or they'd ever played together. So it was just kind of demoralizing to watch. Just this team just not do anything.
B, I
Yeah.
know that you said that this game you kind of just wrote it off. You didn't really want to think much of it, but I mean, is there anything you can add on, bro?
I mean, look, the Juicy coming back from injury, going back to a back four. When Juicy got hurt and we started switching to a back three, with three center backs, Ring staying in the center back position, I thought maybe, yes, Wolf is trying to change it up because of Juicy's injury, but I didn't think that he would just kind of scrap it right away as soon as he came back. Like to just simply said, "Oh, Juicy's back. Let's go back to how it was," and just so quickly. So to me, because there was games, there was certain times where we could have maybe switched back to a back four, kept it the way it is. He was stubborn with the back three for some reason. It felt like it, and then for him to just switch back so easily. To Bali's point, is he captain? Is DP? Juicy gets what he wants. So I definitely got that vibe. But the weather delay changed the game. I mean, like Scott said, scrappy goal, and then the weather delay 2 hours, bro. 2 hours sitting in the locker room, and then you come out and play for like what 5 minutes, and then you get another 10 minutes in the locker room. I mean, and then
Shambles.
you come out in the second half. It's almost like you're starting the game over down a goal. So you're trying to get going. The conditions are shitty. The stadiums. I mean, look, this props to LV for staying, La Murga for playing, but I mean, come on, you got to be honest. Like 60, 70, maybe even more percent of that stadium was empty. So you're playing in essentially like a scrimmage vibe, in my opinion, with La Murga. Credit to them. They were popping off still. There's people there. But all that on top of being down 1-0 and then conceding the second goal, I mean, to me, is just, I take it, to me, it's just like it is what it is. We move forward. I kind of scrap this. I don't put too much weight. I don't, there's nothing much to get out of this game as far as maybe Wolf going back to that back four.
Okay, my GB. There you go. Interesting take right there from everybody. I have some quotes that I want to read here before we get into some of the goals that happened versus RSL. This is Josh Wolf on the loss. He goes on to say, "It was a difficult night and a frustrating night, odd in many ways. I think there were opportunities for us to make more of that game and capture momentum and push that result in the other direction. We've got to clean it up." Danny Pereira said this on the fans. Danny goes on to say, he says, "We say every time that they're amazing," talking about the fans. Big shout out to everyone that stayed. They know they're amazing. And then Stuver had this to say on the loss. He goes on to say, "We're disappointed with the result. We put enough into this game to see a result. Giving up 2 goals the way we did is disappointing as a group. The goals are preventable, and we put ourselves in a spot where we could have scored 2 or 3 more goals." Now, that was Brad Stuver, goalie for Austin FC. Now, I want to talk about the goals real quick. More importantly, the first one, because I think that one was the one that, the second one also, but the first one I was a bit more disappointed to concede by the way that we did. And I want to start off with my G Scott. On this goal, Alex Ring gets overpowered in the air. He finds himself versus 2 RSL forwards. If one of them didn't get it, the other one was right there. Now, Josh Wolf said that John Gallagher has to take care of Alex Ring's back. Alex Ring has to take care of Julio Cascante's back. That's what he said needed to happen. But what can you say attributed to this goal? I mean, it was poor defending, I guess you could say.
I mean, I wonder how much of that was going to a 4-person backline to a 5-person backline and Gallagher having to cover back in ways that he's not had to this season. Because ultimately that was Cascante, Ring, and Gallagher, 3 of our guys against 2 RSL players. And not only did they win the header, But even if you would have taken that guy out, they still had another guy who would have won the header.
Yep.
And so it's just really poor defending. It's really poor positioning on Austin FC's part to not have anybody who can challenge there or even to disturb what is essentially an open header in the middle of the box.
Facts. Now, Bali, he is injured, so I don't really want to like mention this scenario so much. But does Radovanovic change that? Does he get up there and win that header? Because we got to remember, Ring isn't even a center back, bro. Go ahead, Bali.
Yeah, I believe he does change that. But like you said, he's injured. He's not there. We have to put Alex Ring in there. And you see it, bro. He's getting exposed a little bit. Yes, Alex Ring can do the job. Yes, he's a good defender, but he's not a defender. That is not his position, and he's getting exposed, and you see it. You see it, and I mean, we have Kip Keller there, but I mean, for some reason, he probably won't ever play for the first team ever again. So the way it's looking, so who knows? But of course, Rado would have made a difference, but he's not there. We have no defense right now.
Now, after that goal, Austin FC had some chances. Emi Rigoni came close with some little flick. There were some free kicks that forced the RSL keeper to make some really good saves. Young kid, by the way, young kid that performed fantastic for RSL. I want to fast forward to the second goal, RSL. This one was a bit of a mix, it was really a poor clearance, I guess you could say, poor communication, and it all happened so fast. What happened was Lunkovic was the player, if I'm not mistaken, the one that tried to clear it out. And not only this clearance, I also noticed that there was a lot of instances in this game where the ball needed to be cleared out and it went right to an RSL guy, just right to them. And it's just poor clearances. And unfortunately, they're here at the end. This was, I guess, maybe the final nail in the coffin where RSL bags. What was going through your head whenever you saw that second goal go into back of the net, man? I mean, that was just final straw, final nail. It was done.
You called me, bro. You sorry you cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said earlier, bro. I mean, this game, I just like when that goal went in, I was like, all right, well, I think that's game. And just scrappiness and the conditions, and just like you mentioned, Radovanovic maybe makes a difference, but at that point, I was just like, as game, it is what it is. The Villa, I don't have much. I mean, it's just a matter in the way that we conceded is just. I mean, we take it, we go forward, and I'm trying to sound like fucking Wolf, but it's just the conditions and everything, and Ring. It's just like, I mean, this is not new. Like, it's almost like I've been saying this, before, and
Body's frustrated,
we
bro.
move forward.
Body's frustrated.
He's always
Body.
frustrated, bro. He's
You're,
always
you're really
frustrated.
you're really pissing me off right now, bro.
Bro,
You're
what do you
really.
want me to say
I'm
about
at the
this
point where I
goal?
want to get
What
out
do
of
you
here
want me
for
to
real.
say, bro? Like,
You're
In the
pissing me
second,
off for
hold
real.
on, hold on.
to me, this game
Don't
is
get out. Don't
scrap.
get out. Chill. One sec, Body. One
What?
sec.
You're gonna
Bring it
get
down.
out? Why? Because I said we take this and we move
Listen.
forward.
Bali, on that second goal, there was players that immediately after that ball went into the back of the net, faces hit the ground, bro, right away. And there wasn't really many players saying, "Oh, you should have guarded him. You should ever." I think everybody knew, damn, we effed up. And was it poor defending? Are these guys tired? Are they losing focus at the end of the game? Why do we concede so late, Bali? Anything you want to attribute to that second goal?
Well, poor defending. You got a spot on poor defending, and you also said something very very key. And you said when that goal went in, everybody with their heads down. There's no leader there. I don't see anyone going around and saying, "Hey, regroup, pick your head up, come on, let's keep fighting." Everyone with their heads down, blaming each other. You see Julio over there blaming Nick, Lima, Alex, and it's not the first time. It's been happening a couple
I didn't
times.
see that. I didn't see
It's been
that.
happening a couple times. Not this game, but the last couple games when we've been losing, you see them blaming each other. Nobody takes accountability. No captain. We don't have no leader in the locker room. It's sad, man. It's sad. It's sad. You know what? I miss Ruben Gabrielson so much. Honestly, I miss that guy. I miss him
Interesting,
so
man.
much.
Interesting. Scott, is there anything you want to add on the second goal or any of the comments that Bali just said?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like missing Ruben like on the field hurts a lot, but I think missing him in the locker room hurts more. Because there's just so many times, and I think back to like the first the first Houston away loss of there's just so many instances this season where Austin has given up essentially a team goal because nobody moves toward the ball and everybody just kind of turns off. And it happens at the end of games, and it's happened a few times this season. And that's not something we saw last season. And I don't know if that's a focus thing or a being tired thing or not having leadership. But it's a trend that shows that Austin is not, the vibes are off. Is the main problem.
Vibes are off.
Also, the vibes are way off. 2 hours in the
Yeah.
locker room, come back for 5 minutes, go back inside for 10 minutes. The stadium's 60, 70, maybe 80% empty. With conditions, I mean,
Vibes are off.
chalk it
Vibes are
off, bro.
Yeah,
To
vibes
me,
are off.
everything. I mean, the vibe, everything
Wolves
was
not
off.
wearing green shirts anymore. That's a
Oh my
turnoff.
God, here we go. Also,
Well,
that on top of everything, I mean, that's why I was like, you asked me about the second one. I was just like, well, what more can I say? I'm ready for the SKC game and to see I can't really take too much weight off of this game. I don't know why I just can't
chalk it. Chalk it.
chalk it,
Yeah.
bro. To be
Chalk it
honest, the
off.
weight
Chalk
that
it
I
off.
can take, the judgment, the analysis, it's all blurred. It's like false.
Well,
It's like
I'll tell you
I
what, B.
get
I'll
it.
tell
We
you what.
lost.
If only some Austin FC fans could be like you and just chalk it off, mate. It would be the world would be a great place. It'd be absolutely fantastic. But I do want to say this. I want to talk about the goal that did happen for us. But before I do get into that, there was
Pointless.
chances. There was chances for Austin FC. My boy Ethan Finley, love him, love that guy. He missed them. He missed one where he just blew it over the bar, and I was like, Ethan, you gotta finish those, Ethan. I can't be posting these bogus tweets out here defending you for you to be missing these freaking sitters, Ethan, man. There was also some that Drusi missed. Drusi, Dior, our guy, Drusi. And I do want to say this before the match, instead of practicing shooting drills, warming up those muscles, my guy was sitting down, sitting on the ball. That ruins soccer balls, number one. It ruins them. And number two, Drusi, warm up, brother. Warm up, man. You can be sitting down for 45 minutes if you know that you're not going to play the freaking first half. I'm sorry. I'm not really coming after him, but I'm just saying, brother. Drusi usually finish those, eats those up, and against RSL, paid the price for them. I don't know what it is. He could be sluggish coming back from injury, but that's just how I interpreted things when I saw him just chilling, sitting on the ball. I was like, bro, come on, get up, man. Come on. You're gonna be sitting down for 45 minutes in the first half. You know you're not gonna start. Relax then, bro. Relax then. But I want to talk about the goal just real quick. Cascante gets it off of a corner kick. Scott, your thoughts? Finally, a corner kick goes in for Austin FC. I mean, we've been poor, but this one, it went in. Julio has been such a target for us for everything, corners, throw-ins. He's our guy, and he was criticized by people saying that he wasn't going to change this team. He's been changing this team by coming back. He always gets looked for on throw-ins, on corner kicks, just like how I said. Cascante changes this team, bro.
No, he 100% does. I felt like, especially against RSL, we kind of devolved into this um, Stoke like trying to rely on just bringing the center halves up because we don't really have anybody else who's dominant in the air besides Julio. And so getting a goal off a corner in the 92nd minute is nice, but like for the 30 minutes before that, we were just kind of like chunking into the box, and I don't think that that's always going to be that effective. We saw toward the end of last season, the long throw-in stopped being effective because teams started bracketing Julio.
Yeah.
We're going to have to come up with other options to try to get goals that way because it's not going to be something that can work consistently.
Now, Bali, any praise that you want to give Julio? Because you said this team doesn't have leadership. You were kind of knocking him off with the captain. I mean, this guy gets a goal back for us. Any praise for him?
Happy
Show
with
some
the
respect.
goal. Happy with the goal.
Show
Happy
some
with the
respect,
goal.
maybe.
I think I was more happy with the gesture that he did after the game, giving
Yeah,
the
that was
jersey to the
beautiful.
fans.
I
That was
saw
beautiful.
that. I saw
I
that.
think
That was beautiful.
I love that. But other than that,
Love it.
good job, Julio. Keep it up. We need you.
B, anything you want to add on that?
Good.
Chalk it. Chalk it.
Congrats on your goal, Julio. I guess good shit. Maybe give him a little bit of boost of confidence going forward. And if
Oh,
Julio's gonna score, it's a header. At corners,
yep.
we're always aiming
Yep.
for him, like Scott said. So we're down. You score in the last breath of the game. I guess. Congrats.
I love it. I love it. Now, just one question that I had for y'all, and y'all can say good or bad. All right. Y'all's thoughts on the formation that made a return, the 4-2-3-1. Was it good or was it bad? I'm gonna start off with Scott. Good or bad?
Good. I
Good?
think it fits the squad better. I wouldn't
Okay.
put Gallagher on the left. I don't think that works as well as when he's on the right. But I think it does a better job of getting our best 11 players on the field.
Molly, was it good or bad, mate? Back four or back five?
I like it. I like it. But I feel like right now, we just need to stick to that back three. I feel like
Okay.
we need a John Gallagher's are one of our best players, man.
Top
And
scorer.
top scorer, and we need him to
That's
score for
sad.
us. It's sad, but it's a reality.
It's sad. Not I'm not mad at it. I'm happy for John. It's a sad reality. Very well said.
Yeah.
B, fan of
This
the
new
back
new
four.
for back four is good. I mean, dude, we're
Okay.
playing a midfielder as a center back, bro. We have a center back injured. We have no center backs, and we want to play with an extra one.
Don't
Like
hey.
we don't even have
Hey.
enough to fill two. Like we want to play with three. Like no, man.
Okay.
Let's go to a back
I
four,
hear
bro.
you. I hear you, mate. I hear you.
Also,
All right.
Does Gallagher talk about him playing in his back three, allowing him to go forward? Playing in the back four, I think he still goes forward. In my opinion, I think he's still in the positions that he would be if he's playing in the back three. In my opinion, I don't think that changes much. I mean, he
Mhm.
has might have a little bit more responsibility coming back and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
keeping an eye out, but I think to me, he's still gonna go forward.
We did see on the average positioning on that passing network in the game versus RSL, John Gallagher on average was more on the RSL side of the field than Austin FC's defensive side versus Nick Lima. He was more on his side of the field than on the offense side of the field. So point there, B. Point. If this was that show on ESPN, point for B. Good job, man, right there. Now I want to get into the injury bug because we posted a like a question series is what I call them, question series graphic on Twitter and on Instagram, and it was a simple question. I wanted to get a response from the fan base because it is June. This player's loan is up in June, and I think by now, because of those details that were revealed, by now you know who I'm talking about. It's about Radovanovic. The question was, should Austin FC sign this guy on a long-term deal? Now that triggered a huge response from the Austin FC fan base. We got about 50 comments on Instagram. It started a huge thread on Twitter, and it got really a lot of the fans talking. But the main um, mood, the main consensus, I guess, the vibe is sign this guy. This guy's a dog. This guy's brought so much to the team. He makes us look better. But a reality is that as great as Rado has looked to some fans, he's injured right now, and this injury could be serious. He could need surgery. We don't know. He could be out for a long period of time. So I want to start off with you, Bali, mate. Your thoughts on if Austin FC should sign this guy long term, Radovanovic?
No, no,
Break my
no.
heart, bro.
Go
Break
go
my
go
heart.
go out and get yourself a good and proper center back.
He's
It's
on
I
he's on
haven't
600K if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
600K.
it's good money, good money. That's good money. But to me, I just haven't seen enough. Just haven't seen enough. He has been injured, but I mean, to me, it's a we have to cut ties, man. I'm sorry, man.
Mm,
We have to be ruthless, and it is what it is. Go get yourself another center back, someone that's fit,
interesting.
someone that's ready.
Interesting. Now, real quick, Scott, before I get your take on it, I'm gonna read a couple comments. We had Katie Ensign. Shout out to Katie, great photographer. Some dope shots at Q2 Stadium. She says definitely he has made big contributions when he has played. We had Alvaro Dini. He says yes, the man brings a different energy when he's on the pitch. Give this man a dab and let him sign. Let's see. A lot of people, yes, yep, thumbs up, 100%. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, somebody here says no. Interesting. Maybe one more comment I'll read. This one's a long one. It says, yes, Leo is 2 months out. Cascante/Ring seem to be our only rostered players playing CB right now. Tarek has vanished, and Keller isn't ready quite yet. Rado would allow us so much more versatility on how we utilize Ring 2. Scott, thoughts on everything right now with this guy?
No, I agree on signing him, at least at the end of the season, because I think the bigger problem with MLS is you basically if you're not going to keep his loan, you need to have somebody to fill that spot immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And as we've seen over and over again with Josh Wolf doesn't trust anybody in the first 3 months of meeting them. So
Yeah,
even if
true.
we get a new center back, he's not going to play until September, maybe.
Yeah.
And at that point, like if you get rid of Radovanovic, it's basically your options are Tarek, who nobody can find besides his Instagram posts, and
You
Kip,
should
who
just drop that guy. Hate that guy.
Kip, who's doing well at Austin FC, but
Mhm.
that's kind of I think that's good development for him, and I don't know that bringing him back up to the first team based on his experiences with the first team, when you look at his performances, have really warranted him getting more time.
Now on Kip, real quick, I've heard, and this is no knock on the young lad because he can always, everybody can always get better. But I've heard people say, with the whole Kip situation, say that he's not even the best defender on the Fcito squad. So I mean, that kind of rings a little, bit of an alarm bell. So you see, like Bali making a face right now. But B, I want to get your thoughts real quick on Radovanovic, but I have to read off some details that were mentioned. But real quick, dislocated shoulder, torn labrum, and a small bone fracture in the shoulder as well. That's what Coach Wolf said in the press conference against RSL. But in the same kind of the same sentence, in the same bit of words, he says that they're optimistic of having him in training. So not sure what's going on there. Not sure how bad this injury is going to be, bro. But your thoughts on if Austin FC should keep this guy long term?
Um, long term, I mean, I don't know about giving him like a 3 year, 4 year contract, but I
Mm.
agree with Scott. I think we should keep him at least towards the end of the season. Maybe even give him. It depends on his mentality as well. I mean, h- he comes from Europe and stuff. His situation over there. So to me, I keep him because I agree with everything Scott's saying. You know, to me, I think he's a starting caliber center back. So signing him long term, we got Julio, Leo, and him. It'd be weird to just kind of bring him in as a bench. He would have to see minutes, so competition there with now with Julio's raise and Leo's long term contract. If Wolf wants to maybe play in a back three one day in the future, also it takes into account. So to me, I think we should keep him. I think for sure, at least till the end of the season, maybe even a year after that.
Now, I want to bring up a bit of a devil's advocate kind of side of things. I mean, kind of bring up a point, and this is from Chris Wellhausen. Shout out to my dear Chris. He brings up a real interesting side. He says this assumes he wants to stay.
Yeah,
He
that's what
says
I was
has
mentioning.
he says hasn't exactly been the smoothest sailing ship since arrived. Now, I think this guy wants to stay bad. I mean, he's willing to pop his shoulder back in to finish the rest of the game, to try to prove to this fan base, try to prove to
Oh,
this team
really?
that he wants to get a contract.
He
That's I
wanted to
mean,
pop it in and keep playing.
that's what it seemed like because there was a bit of a clip that the game caught where he does like a motion like he like does like a thing kind of signaling like yeah it kind of popped back in. And this guy's Serbian. This is what they do for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I also want to note that his girl and his wife or his fiance, she seems to be in love with the city. I don't know if y'all follow her on Instagram, but she is fascinated by like the many retail stores that are here, and she's always going out and about. And we've seen, hold on, before you laugh, we've just witnessed the most historic football transfer of all time, heavily influenced by a man's wife. Antonella said, "We're not going to Saudi. We're going to Miami." So when you ask if a player's happy, I think you should. The better question you say is his wife happy? Is his family situation happy here? So I think Alexander, I think he'd be keen on staying here. What do y'all
And I'm
think?
down.
Real
I'm
quick
down.
on
I
that.
mean,
I'm down.
for,
Yeah.
from Austin fans, you have to look at that and see the inverse of that, which is that Ruben left because of his family situation.
Yeah,
Gite left because of
yeah,
his family situation.
facts.
So we can't be surprised that family plays a lot of part when you have so many options on where you can live and where you can play.
So we should sign
Like
single
I mean,
guys.
We should what?
Sign
What'd you
single
say?
guys.
No, no,
Ready
no,
to
no,
work.
no. That's
Come
what I'm
on, bro.
saying.
You
No,
come in
I'm not
where to
saying.
work. Worried about,
That I'm not saying.
no,
That's what I'm not
the trick
saying.
is to sign single guys, get them to marry women who live in Austin and want to
here.
stay in Austin, and they never leave.
Yes, find
That's the
find you a
key.
shotty
Interesting.
here. Exactly is what I meant, Scott.
Okay.
That's exactly what I meant. Yeah.
I agree with like
Okay.
if it's a loan deal with like for the rest of the season, I'm cool with that. But a long term deal,
Okay.
I'm good. I'm
Like, what
good.
if they offer him?
Interesting.
I would
Interesting.
be. You, what if they just drop like a 40, like boom,
No,
long
no,
term, right?
no,
Yeah, that would be.
no.
To me, I agree
That's
with that. I wouldn't want that as well.
Okay, now I was gonna mention one last thing on Radovanovic on the long-term deal, but now I think we're
What
good.
stores?
nah.
His wife
Don't give it
shops
to
at,
him.
or
Don't give it to him.
No, no, I don't. No,
Give him the rest of the season
not too
and
sure.
then let him walk.
Let him walk.
Yeah. Sorry.
Interesting. Interesting there. All right. Anything else you want to add on Mr. Radovanovic? You're good. No more
yeah.
points. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's see. We have a quote here from Mr. Josh Wolf. He says he tore his labrum and he has a small fracture in his shoulder. There was some swelling. He trained yesterday, but I wouldn't really call it training. It was jogging and stretching. He did not feel good. It didn't feel stable. We're hopeful he can get reintroduced to training next week, and we'll have to see how he responds to it. It's a significant little hit. And that's Wolf on Radovanovic. Interesting there. All right, now
Significant little hit is such a great
significant
phrase.
little hit brought to you by the guy that says Nikki. Nikki can fill in. Nikki. I love it.
Oh,
I
he
love it.
can't, bro.
No, he can't. Nikki
He
cannot
physically
fill in.
can. He's a body. Sure.
All right, y'all. Now, the next topic that we're gonna get into has really divided the fan base in the last couple of days, and I think by now a lot of people know what I mean is the wolf in and wolf out debate. Now, it was really important that Bali was here today. For me personally, it was really important because I feel like Bali just might feel like he's repeating himself or he's been saying this over and over again. I know that in a lot of episodes people have came after Bali either in the comments or on Twitter or on Facebook groups that he's not even in, and they said this guy's a joke, calling for a manager in the first year. You know, I remember those days, Bali. I remember whenever you would tell us that you would receive abuse and DMs and stuff like that, and one of your most famous phrases is "You
I
took
got
it to the chin."
I got
You took it to the
screenshots.
chin. You know what I'm saying? So now we're coming to a full circle. It's now hitting the mainstream fan base conversation, the wolf in and wolf out. We've seen articles being written. We've seen a lot of data points come out with points per game, goals scored in the last 30 matches. So many data points came out since that big LAFC win in August when we beat them 4-1 at Q2. But Bali, what's your thoughts on everything going on now, mate? I mean, I think you feel like maybe people are finally realizing what you were talking about so long ago.
I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy. It's been a crazy 3 years. But since day one, I told you, and he's not that guy. And the fan base, I see it coming now. I see stuff happening behind the scenes now. I see people aren't taking this. They're stepping up. They want the club to do better. They want us to do better. They want us to compete. We deserve it. Our fan base is amazing. It's incredible.
100%.
20,000 people. Man. I mean, if you haven't been to the Q2, you have to go because it's an
Sold out
amazing
record.
stadium.
Sold
Sold
out
out
record.
record.
Still active. I don't care
So
what B says. I don't care what B says.
Tickets
Go
are
ahead,
cheap
Bob.
now. You can get tickets
yeah,
cheap now.
but yeah, man, it's I'm wolf out. That's me. I want him out. Will it be easy? The reality is, and we have to accept the reality. It will not be easy. It will not be easy. But I just want the fans. I want us fans to stick together. If you're wolf out, stick to it. Let's push. Let's bring on the pressure because it's
Hmm.
not going to be easy. He won't, and he might not leave. But we have to keep on that pressure. If performances are not good enough, we have to keep that pressure on. We have to expect more. This this next season, the off season, the preseason, we need surgery,
We
major
got to be
surgery.
brutal.
We have to be ruthless. It's just the reality
Ruthless.
of the situation. We have to compete. I feel like we deserve it. I feel
I
like we
like
deserve
that.
it.
I like that word that you're using in the offseason. We got to be ruthless. And it's just a matter of business choices. And I think that's ruthless sometimes. And I think that's a really good word to use. Now, I want to get Scott's take on this next thing that I'm going to say. An article was dropped on thefalse9.com that had a lot of people talking. It definitely shook the whole fan base up. Now, I have some stats here, mate, that I pulled from the article. Josh Wolf has coached 92 games as the head man for Austin FC. The match breakdown is, and they had this graph on there. Competition, MLS regular season, total matches 84, 31 wins, 38 losses, 15 draws. Now, before we started recording, I had asked everybody if they had gone through the numbers that were in this article, and everybody said that they had already gone through it and they were familiar with it. So instead of me reading these number of stats on here, Scott, what was your thoughts on what was in that article? Because it definitely had a lot of people talking, and I was told that it reached, I mean, some people you don't even think that we're gonna read. I mean, this article was pretty big whenever it was dropped. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I think that article and Derek Ensign had a tweet
Yes,
explaining
shout
Wolf
out
out that
Derek.
morning that kind of went
Derek kind of
everywhere.
started it. Derek kind of started it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he he really did. I'll preface by saying that I'm Wolf out. I don't think he's the guy. I think he's just kind of just another coach. Um, I don't think he even believes in his own philosophies at times. His willingness to change formations just based on who's available or stick to a formation when he doesn't have the players available. He, uh, really besides the first half of 2022, you can't look at any consistent stretch of Austin playing well. And even then, it was basically just like over 15 games where most of the points got racked up. So yeah, I'm Wolf out. I don't think he. I mean, we've seen it for 2.5 seasons now, and we've seen over and over again the same problems, the same issues. He doesn't make changes. He doesn't do anything to affect the game. And I understand that there's like a school of coaching that you empower the players to make the decisions on the field because they're the ones who can know the best. Well, he doesn't do that either. He yells at the players who go off book. And at some point, it's kind of like, well, if you're not going to make substitutions timely, you're not going to make changes in formation or changes in tactics during the match, what are you doing? Like, why are you even there on the sideline? Like, you can just give the team talk in the locker room and just stay there.
Facts. I love that. I love that, Scott. What you just said. Now, B, I want to bring you in on this, man, because you're somebody that has been known in the Austin FC community to go back at Bali and not let them, say all these ludicrous things at the time that people thought were ludicrous. But seems like maybe things are tipping in Bali's favor. The numbers are kind of tipping in Bali's
Well, it
favor. Are you
depends
going
where
to
you
let
start
him
the
have
numbers
the
too.
last laugh? Are you going to let him have the last laugh, or what can you say?
Look,
Are you
man,
still wolf in?
I'm look, I'm not Wolf out.
Okay,
The numbers that were brought up, good numbers. I mean, numbers don't lie. Women lie, men lie, numbers don't, and I agree with that.
100%, 100%.
But you got to look at where you start counting the numbers. Also, if you start
Mm,
off at a certain point where things go south and you start counting from there, maybe the numbers may seem a little different. But
mm,
you got to take. Okay, look, this season isn't as bad as the first season. It's not as great as last season. First season we had a number 9 issue and things just went south. Expansion team, all that, beginning coach, new players, Redes flopping, all that. Okay, horrible season. The next season, with having a number 9, having a captain, center back, having in Gaberson, and all the pieces kind of having a clean slate and just having a good run at it, and we did great. We went to the conference finals, and to me, I think that made up for the first season. And then now
100%.
we're in this point of the season where it's not as bad as first. I know it's not as good as last season, but you take away Gaberson. The sporting director in a huge scandal in the offseason,
Huge
getting
scandal.
huge handles, getting dropped, then not being a part of recruitment. You bring in Tarek. I don't think that was Reina's decision to bring Tarek in. You
Why do
bring
you
in
keep
other.
bringing them up, mate?
No,
Why you
that
keep
that
bringing
guy
them
that
up?
guy is the example of why we shouldn't hire who maybe we're making decisions. But that's a different topic. But like all the situations at the beginning, Rigoni flopping, Fagundes just out of nowhere tanking, Redes out of nowhere tanking. I mean, just all these situations and look, like I said, numbers don't lie. And you look at the numbers, it looks bad. But we're sitting in 8th spot, bro. And a lot of people are upset, but we're
Yeah.
sitting in 8th spot. And I'm looking at the table right now, and we go on another 2-game winning streak like we did a couple weeks ago, and we're in 4th, 5th. I mean, like, to me, I get it. We don't have a sporting director. You want to fire a coach and put in the assistant to coach for the rest of the season. Is that going to make us better? It's not. It's not going to make us better, bro. You think that's going to make us better? It's not. There isn't a sporting director. So I think the best thing to do in our situation is let Wolf coach the season out. Let's get a sporting director. And if you want to change the coach, talk to that sporting director, have his vision, and then we'll move from there. But for me to for fans to say, hey, let's sack Wolf right now, and then shit hits the fan and we start tanking down the season because the assistant isn't up to par, then now what? Let him coach the rest of the season, bro. He's already doing
Okay.
it. Let him
Okay.
let him finish the season out. Let's get a sporting director, and then we go from there, in my opinion,
And,
bro.
and
Now,
see that
The
that's
club
where
released a video on Thursday after the Minnesota match. And in the opening section, 2 coaches spoke. Josh Wolf did, and Davey Arnaud did. One of them spoke and made it seem like I would be ready to run through a wall for that guy. Wolf was not that guy. I don't think that going from Wolf to Arnaud is that big of a drop down. I agree that we need to get a sporting director. The club needs to have a clear vision of what they're trying to do and a clear front office of who's making decisions. And it's unclear if that's a thing right now.
yeah.
But at the same time, there are a lot of problems. But you can solve one of them just by making one personnel change. And if that incrementally makes us better, like you talked about, like 2 or 3 wins and we're up into the top part of the conference, like
okay, but
you can
what's the
do
risk?
that.
Okay, so what's the urgency? What urgency are you to make this change? To gamble on a change where sure, like you said, his attitude seems fine, his interviews, he speaks, he seems to be the guy to maybe take the change. But what urgency do you see us having to make that decision in this point is where we sit eighth spot and we're in this situation, we're like, what is the urgency? What's going on here? What's happening here?
We've been
Bali
knocked out of CCL. We've been knocked out of US Open Cup.
Okay.
too.
If at the end of the if at the end of the month we don't get two results at home at the end of the month, we'll be out of Copa Tejas. And then at that point, it's
I
like,
don't
oh,
even
do we
care
think
about that.
Copa
do we think Leagues
Tejas?
Cup is gonna? Do we think we're gonna do anything in Leagues Cup? Like
Yeah,
at
facts,
some point, you
facts.
just like look at all the competitions that we get knocked out of, and it's just like, oh, we're just gonna keep doing the same thing. Okay.
I get the cup losses. I get that. But like, the argument on that is, we were questioning depth, right? That was the main depth question in the beginning of the season with the Champions League, with the Copa, with everything. I mean, had we make a run, had we be Violet, realistically, are we going to be Leon with our depth, bro? Having to play on the MLS and then Leon. I mean, the depth isn't there to compete in that competition,
I
and that
see.
was the
I see what you're
argument,
saying.
and I get it. But then with Copa Tejas, I mean, with U.S. Open Cup, I get it. We crashed out to a Chicago who got spanked by Houston. So I understand the frustration there. But I think I forgot who made this point on Twitter, but like if we can fight for the MLS and just keep making playoffs and maybe climbing the ranks, that allows us to free up TAM, GAM, or whatever these MLS rules provide. I know Scott, may you know way more than me to be able to provide more depth going forward in the upcoming season. And
Hmm.
and when you look at the money spent, we gave money out to Diego, Julio, these massive contracts. Even doing that, it doesn't seem like there's people in place to be smart with the money that we're trying to earn for next season or whatever. So to
I
me,
see
I
what you're
think
saying.
the main topic needs to be a sporting director. I think
Okay.
chopping off Wolf, sure, maybe our new can do a job, sure, but it just to me it doesn't seem like that's just. I think we should let Wolf coach the season, bro, and I think we need to bring a sporting director, and we'll go from there.
Bali, I want to get your take on the Wolfhound situation before we go into one of the next topics. I saw you were having a meltdown when Davey Arnaud was mentioned.
The
Scott brought
sugar,
him up
get some
elegantly. That
sugar,
was a
bro.
that was a great point. Whenever he brought him up about Davey Arnaud's speech, he was like, "Hey, y'all, this game's about winning, y'all. Stick to the plan. Go out there and win." I mean, whenever he said that, bro, chills down my spine, brother. Chills down my spine, dude. I mean, I was like, Davey Arnaud.
It-
Davey Arnaud, coach me, bro. But Bali, your thoughts, man.
No, I mean Scott, that was amazing. No, that was spot on. I would honestly give it to Davy Arnaud for the rest of the season. I really would. I really would because, I mean, just think about it, bro. It's just scratch it, regroup, regroup in the offseason.
Tank the season?
Let the season's done. Season's
No, it's
done.
not, bro. We're in
Season's
eighth
done.
spot.
Season's done.
We're
Season's
in
done.
We're in eighth
eighth.
Bro,
spot. We're gonna be
Bali,
fighting
I,
for the
I,
playoffs. The season
no,
is not
no.
done.
I'll explain to you. I'll explain to you because you think that it's not done. It's done.
Not
We
done.
don't have the squad to compete. Period. Period. It's the truth. It's the truth. Out of the Concacaf, out of the U.S. Open, we probably will. They'll probably beat us in the Leagues Cup
we got
and
Mazatlan
in
and Juarez,
playoffs. In
brother. We got
playoffs.
Mazatlan and Juarez, brother.
In playoffs. We,
Mazatlan and
and
Juarez.
like I told you in my interview, in playoffs, we might get lucky. We might go past the first round, but in the second round, they'll beat us. They'll beat us because our squad is not good enough. It's not good enough. Look at our squad right now. Is it good enough? Rodriguez, not good enough. Is Maxi Ruti good enough? Huh? I
No,
think he has to leave. You know,
I would
Hector,
entertain that.
Hector,
I would
Hector,
entertain that. But
Hector Jimenez. I love my G, but I think this is his last year. I think he might have to retire after this.
that's
There
real.
you go.
That's actually pretty real coming
Zan
from saying
Komenich.
that.
Another injury for Zan Komenich. To me, he's looking a little injury prone. Do we need to go shop for another left back? I mean, this club needs major
Exactly, bro.
surgery. It's not
You're
just
bringing
one
up
player.
all these
It's across
injuries, all these
players.
problems in the
So
personnel.
bring
You
on.
want Wolf to
No,
craft
it's
a
oh yeah.
championship team with
Oh
all that?
Wolf is done. He has to go. Bring on a different coach. Let the season go on. Put in Davey. And you know what? Me and Hernan heard something from Davey. We did hear that Wolf and Davey are very good friends. And
Yeah,
that
we
if
did.
Wolf walks, Davey might walk with him. Well, you know
Yeah,
what? Go right ahead and walk with him.
And then now we don't
yeah,
have a
Right
coach,
ahead.
and now we just
Go
bring
right
in
yeah.
ahead.
someone new.
Hold on,
And then
hold on,
right
hold
now,
on, hold on, hold
think,
on. Let's
think,
not.
bro.
Let's. Hey, that was true. That was true. What Bali just said was true. When somebody told us that Wolf and Davey they're tight. They're tight. They're super close. And to the people that are saying, "Oh, give it to Davy, let Davy take over," there's a chance that if Wolf walks, Davy walks too.
Yeah, that's
So
Bro,
true.
exactly.
And Precourt has
Bro.
to make the decision right there. He has to talk to
yeah.
Davey and tell him, you know what, I'm gonna give you the rest of the season. You show me something, you prove to me, hey, we could talk.
That's a crazy choice
Talk
for like a
again.
friend.
We could talk again.
That's a
You know,
crazy choice for a friend.
That's
to
crazy,
me,
bro. This is crazy.
to
To
me, I
me,
feel
all
like
this is
that
crazy,
has to
bro.
happen,
Come
and it's
on.
okay. Look, you can sit there, B, and be like, it's crazy.
It's
Oh,
crazy. What the fuck,
where's the
bro? Think, bro.
urgency?
Be rational.
Urgency.
You get
Why
off
are fans
dreamland.
tripping? Why are fans tripping? The fans are waking up, B. The fans are waking up.
No, the
It's not.
fans
It's not.
are
It's
are
not.
are
Hey, it's not
following.
just.
The
It's not just
fans
little
want.
old.
It's easy. It's
It's
easy,
not just
bro.
Ollie.
Oh, I'm gonna tweet Wolf out. Wolf
It's
sucks. Get the
it's
fuck likes. Boom, retweets. Oh yes, yes. That's what the Wolf. That's what it is, bro.
Calma,
You don't
calma,
think rationally here.
no,
We
it's
just
fine.
brought up all these
calma.
points.
Hey, B, hold
You
on,
brought up
hold
all
on.
these points on Wolf and all these Zanny getting injured. Redis his ass. Maxi ain't cutting it. Okay, all these players cutting it, and you want Wolf to build a winning squad, bro.
I want to
He
say
has to
this.
go. That's his squad. He has to go. He built it already. It's not working. Go.
I want to say this. I want to say this. Up until this week, the Wolf out, no, the Wolf in people could say that, B. They chalked it off to that. But something came out. Numbers came out. An article came out.
Oh my God.
Numbers came out.
Nobody
And
cared
it
about
came
numbers
out.
when we were one game away from an MLS Cup, bro. I mean, playing in the MLS Cup final. No one was caring about the last year's numbers. The first season,
I'm, yeah.
second season in the conference final, third season we're not doing so good. I mean, come on. I mean,
Look, I just want to say this before we go on to the next topic. My take on the situation is firing Wolf right now would not be a good idea. It would not
yes,
be, but
exactly.
I do want to see this guy leave my club. I do want to see this man leave my club.
Let's finish the season.
I think his cycle has come to an end. I think Scott said something very interesting. He says that he thinks that he doesn't even believe his zone philosophy anymore, and I think that's a sad reality. I
I
think
mean,
it's a sad
that's
reality.
kind of. I mean, has he had a chance to play his philosophy?
How
Losing.
many times did he talk last year about committing to the formation and
Yeah.
But
oh,
Wolf
didn't
we'll
ball,
this
come
season
wolf
back
shake
ball.
it
because
up?
of adjustments. The comebacks are when we go back to our basics, and then uh, the LAFC match happens at the end of the season in the playoffs, and we come into the new season in a completely different formation, a completely different style of play. He
Yeah.
completely abandoned it after the last, like, honestly, after the LAFC home win. If you look at the results aren't good. Like, even that's why the stats go back to then, and you can tell that going into the season, like, he completely changed everything because of how bad that loss was.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk about him getting figured out, and I agree with that. But like we said, like I mentioned, we losing Gaberson, and then the whole thing going on with in the front office with Reina and him being having to step up and be
The
helping Sean
scandal.
Rubio
The
and the
scandal.
scandal, and then him help Sean Rubio, and then him thinking in that sort of, it's it's there's a lot of stuff going on here. But look, I get it. Look, all
There's
I'm
a lot of
saying
stuff.
is there's a lot of stuff, but all I'm saying is he's gonna finish the season. Let him finish the season. Let's get a sporting director first, and then we'll go from there. And the season's not over. Bali's saying the season's over. To me, it's not over. A lot of fans think it's over. It's not over, bro. We can climb. We still have a chance to climb the table, and we still can make playoffs. And then playoffs is a whole different ball game. We'll see, bro.
Last thing before we go on to the Sporting Kansas City predictions, there was a bit of chatter saying there's a lot of conspiracies with the Austin FC community, and I'm gonna just say this: don't believe 100% what's put out there by social media, by clubs. You know what I'm saying? They
Wow.
always try to hide stuff.
Oh
They always,
yeah. I mean, we've been
you know
knowing
what I'm
this
saying?
before Austin even.
There's always stuff going on behind the scenes, and this guy Bali knows it more than anybody. I think Bali has like a chamber of freaking secrets that are never gonna come out.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I'm
look,
saying?
there's stuff that I'm not. I have respect, bro. You know, I'm I'm
100%.
I'm I'm, I'm loyal. That's me. I'm loyal. I don't. If I know stuff, hey, it's not my business. I don't talk about it. If I know something, hey, I keep my mouth shut.
I like
But you
that,
know what,
Bali.
B? Okay, B. We'll give him the season. But he
Exactly. Give him
has
the
to go.
season.
He has to go. No if, no but, no maybe.
You
He
know the
has to
thing
go.
about you,
He has
Bali,
to. Has
you
to.
never not once
Has to.
gave this
Has to.
guy
He has
any
to.
sort of chance. But last year, when we were riding high, when we were up there, when we were in the conference final, you traveled, we did all this stuff. And to see you sit here and act this way again, back to season one, to me, I mean, come on, bro. I mean,
And what happened in the final? What happened? Did we?
yeah,
Oh, we won. We won. We went
yeah,
to the finals. We won the
yeah.
conference
Calma,
finals.
calma,
Did
calma.
we?
Let's go on to the
No,
next
we
topic.
didn't. We got
Let's go.
embarrassed 3-0. That's what
Let's go
happened.
to the. Let's go to the next topic. Let's
Yeah,
go to the
you
next
you
topic.
pop off when shit's going down, bro. But when shit's good,
I'm always pop off. I'm always
when
pop
Hey,
shit's
off.
good,
calma,
Always pop off.
calma,
when
calma,
shit is
boys.
going good,
Always
bro.
popped off.
And
Hey,
I'm gonna bring that up. If somehow we turn the season around, we go up, which I have faith that we will.
Go ahead.
Gonna be like
all
this,
right,
bro.
all right,
Go
all
ahead.
right.
We're gonna win the MLS Cup this season.
I'm
You're
not
right,
saying that.
Brian.
Relax,
Yes,
not
relax,
let's
saying that.
go.
relax. Next
Let's
topic. Next
go.
topic. Running out of time. Running out of time. Starting off with Maiji Scott. Scott, Sporting Kansas City is coming up away from home. Josh Wolf, a little quick quote from him. It says, "It'll just give us a chance to work on things as a group on the field. Hopefully, my ink kind of ran out on this. He says the boys are going to get healthy and rest, and we'll get a fully complement of players going forward." So I did some research. Sporting Kansas City is favorites. Go ahead into this game. Now, in the last 5 games, Sporting Kansas City, they drew versus Vancouver, they beat Dallas, they beat Portland, and they lost to St. Louis, drew to LAFC. And they won the let's see, they won their last 3 home games: Dallas, Portland, Minnesota. 8 goals scored and 8 goals conceded in the last 5 league games. So I want to ask you, Scott, who has the upper hand here?
I think you take the team that's hot at home in Kansas City. I know Kevin has abandoned them for Inter Miami, but
I
they're
saw
still
that. I
the.
was kind of disappointed. I was kind of
He made a
disappointed.
tweet right now. He made a tweet right now. If y'all see, saying
did
nah,
he?
nah, nah, nah.
All right, all
I
right.
mean, I'm glad to see him stick with this team. No, I think being at home matters a lot in MLS. And I think Sporting Kansas City's been playing a lot better. I'm not sure what Austin's doing, especially after last week. So I don't have a lot of hopes for Saturday, which is probably not a great thing to say when we're trying to be like a little more positive because people think we're being too negative at times.
Yeah.
Um, but no, and I do think that this team has a chance to get healthy because we don't have as many matches in June as we did in May, which was a pretty brutal schedule. Um, so hopefully they can get things right. It just Kansas City's playing well and they're playing well at home, and I don't see Austin as a strong road team that's going to get a result.
Yeah, I think Adrian Healy said that we're catching this team on the upside. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They're actually playing better. So, Bali, I want to get your take, mate. I mean, Sporting Kansas City, yeah, they're kind of getting some good results. They're trending upwards. We're not too far away from them in the table. Austin has 19 points. SKC has 17 points. We're eighth and they're 12th. That's 2 points and 4 spots on the table. Going to Beast Point. I mean, the West is tight, bro. The West is tight. 1, 2, 3 wins. You're up top 4, brother. You're up top 5 with big dog teams. But Bali, I want to get your prediction going into this game. I mean, same question. Who has the upper hand here?
I think they do. They have to. I think Sporting KC has been playing a little bit better than us, and Scott is right. They've been playing better at home. They might beat us. We might surprise them, but I honestly feel like we need this break, man. Just get this game over with. Let's take the break. We come back. We play 2 games at home, 2 derbies. Let's just regroup. Not only do the players need a break, but I feel like just the whole fan base need a break. Just from Austin FC, just from everything. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been in the mood all day. I've been angry all day. Just not healthy, man. It's not healthy, honestly.
Angry on the day that Messi breaks the news, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy, but he's not coming to Austin FC, right? He's coming
I
to
mean, it
Inter
feels
Miami.
like it. Feels like it by the way that some Austin fans
Nah, nah.
acted.
I
I
mean,
I
don't
mean,
know.
we get that Apple TV subscription money though. Like we're still.
yeah.
We also had,
True.
I mean, well, we're actually
If
going
we're,
to get to
if we're
that in
throwing
the
it like
next topic.
crazy, what good does it do?
It
Yeah,
might go. It might go up next season. Another 10
hopefully
bucks.
not. Hopefully not. I want to get your take, mate. Prediction, Sporting Kansas City. We got the thoughts from B and Scott on who has the upper hand. So I'm going to switch it up for you here just a bit. Score prediction from you right off the bat.
Oh shit, you're giving me that one.
Right off the bat. Right off.
You know, I agree with the boys. We're catching them on a high. Man, I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Austin. I think Austin could do it. I think the RSL game is bringing a lot of negativity, and I understand because we lost the game. But I think the conditions and everything that I mentioned earlier in the podcast, the way that we lost to Houston. So I think this is the game to kind of get a little positivity before the break, before we have the 2 Texas derbies at home. So, I got faith Austin can get a result. I know. I mean, if we got a result against Seattle away when they were in the situation they were in, um, I know
Yeah,
they weren't
that's a
coming
good
in
point.
as hot as form as maybe SKC is in right now, but we got a result there. So I think that we can get a result in Kansas City. So I got 2-1 Austin.
Facts. Now, score prediction real quick from you, Scott and Bali, but I'm gonna start off with my G Scott first. Go ahead, Scott.
I'll go the inverse 2-1 Kansas City.
Oof, I love it. I love the different take. Bali, I guess you have the tiebreaker here. Score prediction.
Nah, relax, bro. It's gonna be 1-1.
Goals by
Danny
Drusi?
Pereira. Danny Pereira. Danny.
Danny.
Danny. It's time for Danny to score. Honestly, he
It's
needs a goal.
also
He needs a goal.
it's also time for Danny to pick up that fifth damn yellow card before he goes off with his country. Pick up that fifth yellow, take the suspension, go with your country, come back and have a clean slate.
That's
Yeah.
You know
not
what
what
I'm
you should be
saying?
thinking, bro. There
True.
ain't no pick this up, nah, man. Nah,
Nah, Sergio Ramos style.
nah.
I
Yeah,
mean, he missed
see
the
what
chance to
happened
do
to
that
him.
last year before one of the Canada games that he couldn't have traveled to.
Yeah,
Well, maybe he's more mature,
you don't take
smarter.
yellows on purpose, bro. You don't pull a Ramos, bro.
You
Okay,
can try.
you
You
go
try
into the
to.
game trying to win the game. If a yellow happens, it happens. If not, if it is what it is. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Now, all right. Now, this next topic has had a lot of people talking today, y'all. We're coming to the end of the pod. Now, this is the Messi to Miami news. Now, this is an Austin FC pod, right? We got Bali here, we got Scott here, we got B here, myself here. But how is Austin FC going to be affected by this move? And stepping further back, how is the league going to be affected by this? Because this is something that is going to be talked about for the next 100 years, for however long the sport lasts and exists in this world. They're gonna talk about the day, the moment, the year that Messi was announced to MLS. I mean, we still talk about Beckham to Galaxy and how much that meant. Well, this is times 10. So I want to start off with you, Bali. Messi to MLS made, I mean, the lucrative deal that he got. I mean, we can get into the details, but not only the deal that he got here. I mean, I think what's even more crazy is what he left on the table. I mean,
yeah,
the freaking Saudi offer. Madre
1.6
mia.
billion in 3 years is what
The
I saw.
Saudi offer. Now that's insane. We also saw Benzema get a crazy deal. He's getting as much as NFL teams get salary cap space.
Yeah, and Golo
Insane.
Kante is also joining him.
And Conte, bro. So, Bali, starting off with you, mate. I mean, Messi to Miami. How much sense does this make? And just like I said, how does this affect ATX?
I mean, the deal was crazy today. I mean, it was a huge news all around. I think I'm happy for the league. It's gonna bring exposure to the league. Hopefully a lot of more quality players. Messi's a huge player. I did see a lot of fans from different teams kind of hating on Miami, kind of saying Messi's gonna be playing
Madrid
in that
fans.
stadium.
Madrid fans. You mean Madrid fans?
I
It's
didn't see
come
many
on,
Madrid
bro.
fans. I
I
There was
saw
didn't see many
plenty
Madrid
of
was
fans.
some
Madrid
I
fans.
didn't see many
there
Madrid
was some
fans.
fans hating.
I
But
saw a Barcelona president release a very nasty statement. That's what I saw,
yeah,
brother.
he did.
That's what I saw. So go ahead,
But
buddy.
I understand what the state. I mean, the couple of times that I've seen Miami play, that stadium doesn't look too full. I mean, it's gonna be full now, but
It's a
I mean, yeah, I
temporary
mean,
stadium, bro.
the,
It's
the
like
stadium is
18K.
okay. The stadium is okay. I think they need to upgrade it for Messi for sure. But I'm happy for the league,
100%.
man. I'm happy for the
Now,
league.
we did have a game there preseason, so we saw pictures and some videos and stuff like that. So it's not like Q2 style. So Scott, I want to get your take, mate. I mean, some of the stuff that Messi left on the table, like we said, and how ultimately it was kind of influenced by his wife. His wife didn't really want to go to Saudi Arabia. She wanted to live that Miami lifestyle. Now, it is important to note that they already had a home in Miami before this. Now, whenever it was announced to the media that Messi had bought a home in Miami, it kind of, said, what's this guy thinking of? Is he thinking long term? What's happening here? But then you think he's just a rich person. I mean, who wouldn't want to have a home in Miami? You know what I'm saying? But now it just all makes sense. Everything ties in together. B was saying this is a long term plan. I mean, apparently he's getting shares from Apple. He's getting shares from Adidas. I mean, this is just monumental for Messi and the family. This is generational wealth. Go ahead, Scott.
No, there's a lot of there were a lot of little clues. The
Yeah,
the House of Miami
definitely.
is one of them. There was a tweet that resurfaced today from April of Beckham visiting Messi at PSG.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of snarky comments about like, oh, why would Beckham be doing that? Blah, blah, blah. Like kind of knowing that like this ultimately is the result. Um, I mean, Beckham coming to LA Galaxy was a formative moment for the league. At the time, there were only 14 teams. There were only a few soccer-specific stadiums. We're up to 30 expansion teams now. Everybody had to pay, 9 figures to get the expansion fee, except for Beckham because he got a sweetheart deal. They built 15 soccer-specific stadiums since then. Getting Messi is going to transform the visibility and viability of the league on an international level, because not only is he a bigger name than Beckham was then, but they're in a better position to capitalize on it because of the Apple TV deal. A couple months ago, there were a lot of people, naysayers, who were ragging on, oh, Apple's going to drop MLS, the subscriptions are bad, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
No numbers, no data, just haters who
All
are
vibes.
complaining about it. All vibes. Just trust me, I know a guy, blah, blah, blah. Those people are silent. They are dead silent today because Apple, they're not Apple because they don't know what they're doing when it comes to business. They signed a deal with MLS. They figured out a way to get the greatest soccer player of all time to go to MLS to get all those subscriptions. It's going to be a huge boon for the league, and I can't wait to see, looking back on it 10 years from now or 15 years from now, how much this transformed MLS.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think you put that together at the end very well. How much is this going to change the MLS a decade down the line, 15 years? I mean, hell, after the World Cup, what's the league going to look like? And that's in 2026. I mean, it's right down the line. I mean, the sport in this country is literally changing right in front of our eyes. And, I just wish somebody was telling us that we're living in the good old days. You know what I'm saying? That's a quote from
I feel like we
The
are.
Office.
I think something I was talking about the U.S. men's team is that the last group was probably the most talented group we've had, and it's probably also the floor of what's coming in the future in terms of talent and skill based. And going back to the point about Miami Stadium, Miami has a new stadium that's set to open in 2 years.
Yes.
But with Messi coming, everything changes. Every away match is going to get moved to whatever biggest stadium they can fill it in. Miami's going to try to put it, in the biggest stadium they can all the time to try to capitalize on this as much as they can.
That leads me to my next question on this segment real quick. Don't want to spend too much more time on it, but I do want to get y'all's takes. A lot of other teams and a lot of other fans of other teams have been screenshotting Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, stuff like that, and going onto Twitter and saying, oh, look at the prices for this game. Oh, look at this game. And it's kind of funny because I've been seeing that some teams are reporting ticket sales from games where Messi can't even play yet, and they're sold. They're up $400, and Messi can't even play that game yet. You know what I'm saying? So the question is, number one, when will Messi play his first game for Inter Miami? We think. And number two, when will Austin FC or will ever Austin FC host Messi and Inter Miami at Q2? Because there was a cheeky tweet that was posted by the North End Pod. We made a graphic for it, posted it on Instagram and Twitter with the whole scenario of this, that has to happen for Austin FC to host Inter Miami. But, the question, maybe one of you has the answer. When will Messi play for Inter Miami, and will we ever get to host him? Anybody have that answer?
I mean,
next year.
Next season?
Maybe not even next season. We might not even play Miami next season.
I think that there's pressure for Messi to play in the Leagues Cup, though. I think I saw something around that. Scott?
I would be shocked if he doesn't feature in the Leagues Cup because there's no better way to promote that tournament.
Yep.
I doubt that Miami will come here next year in the regular MLS schedule since they came here 2 years ago and we're playing them there later this season. Unfortunately, it's July 1st, which is like the opening date that he actually could even sign for the team. So we'll likely to see him because they'll probably do some kind of like announcement in front of the stadium, but nobody thinks he's going to play that match. So I think our only real hope is, MLS Cup or like some kind of like fortunate US Open Cup draw.
We'll see. We'll see what happens there. B, Bali, anything you want to add on the Messi situation? It is important to note, this is a little side thing. I think B doesn't really care much about this. Bali don't either, I know. But Inter Miami, they started off at 1.3 million Instagram followers, I think, and now they're at 2.8 mil. I think they're now at 3 point something. So the Messi effect.
The Messi effect, yeah.
The Messi effect. And I think Messi has more followers than the league and all the teams combined, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, my God.
the
Oh my
the Messi
God.
effect.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
this is just crazy. But boys, anything y'all want to add on Messi coming to MLS Miami?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to give my take. I mean, Messi is going to. Ooh, I mean, this moment, him signing it. I mean, it's going to be looked upon as one of the biggest things in this league going forward. I mean, the way that the MLS has. This is like an extra bonus. I mean, just a huge blessing, right, for the league. But the fact that the Copa America is going to be here, the World Cup is going to be here, the Gold Cup, the U.S. men's national team's the young group that went to Qatar and did best probably team that they had. They're gonna be better come this World Cup. So just and then now Messi. I mean, this is just it's been just nothing but just big opportunities come to this league. I mean, in just a perfect way. I mean, it's just great. This is great for the league. I know a lot of people maybe were hating, but to me, I think this is great. It's gonna elevate the league everywhere, just from the ground up, and they're gonna have to. I know Beckham's gonna have to tell all the boys in Miami, hey, we need to work around the clock on the stadium. We work in night shifts. You know what I mean? Then they get the stadium done ASAP. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to. Let's all be real. We all want to see this guy play at least an
Not
MLS game,
everybody,
bro.
be not everybody. There were fans that went on to Twitter said that they were disgusted that they gained
That's
nothing
Madrid
from
fans.
this.
Madrid fans, yeah.
Not all Madrid
Listen,
fans.
bro, listen. Madrid fans and Barcelona fans disgust me to the core. They ruin every sort of joy
What?
that we can. No, no, no. Listen, let me just say this, bro. They ruin everything, everything. Just you cannot enjoy anything whether it's Ronaldo or Messi, because if it's about Messi, Ronaldo, Madrid fans just shit on it. If it's on Ronaldo, Barca fans come and just shit on that. So I feel sorry for Madrid and Barca fans. I feel sorry because you're not really enjoying this moment, especially in your country. So feel sorry for both of y'all fans. To the neutral, it's amazing. It's a blessing. I want to see the greatest player of all time play. It's just great for me. But for
The
Madrid and
greatest
Barca fans,
player of all time. Debatable. The greatest. Debatable.
they're coming from
Debatable.
Madrid fan. Like I said,
Debatable.
like I
Debatable.
said,
Now,
bro.
real quick, let's see. No, we got everything there. Oh, one more thing. One more thing. Is it okay to be a Miami slash Austin FC fan now?
No,
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 is that okay?
no, it's not
no.
No,
You
okay.
get one team in every league. That's it.
one team in
Exactly.
every league.
I go
Yeah, one
further.
team in every
I
league.
go further, bro.
What
I
do you
say you get
say?
one team in each confederation, bro. That's the way I
Oh,
see it.
Oh, I like
You
that.
get one team in CONCACAF, one team in UEFA, and one team in CONMEBOL. I mean,
I
that's just the
support
way.
that. I support that. I
No,
support
I
that.
like that.
I support that. I support that. There was a huge war going on today between people wanting to be half Austin FC, half Inter Miami fans because I mean
Cringe.
I got texts, mate, from people saying I'm not gonna support Austin FC anymore. I'm all Inter Miami. I said, have some shame. Have some shame. Have some shame. I'm
Hey,
being dead
honestly,
serious.
I'm not
I would show
surprised,
you
bro.
screenshots. I would
I'm
show
not
you
surprised,
screenshots.
bro. I'm not
I would show you
surprised.
No, but then
screenshots, and
Messi
I'm
will
not.
leave and we'll be good again, and they'll act like they were Austin FC fans
No,
again.
we don't want them,
It's fine.
bro. Get out, bro.
I
Oh
said
my
they'll
god.
act like it. We don't care, but they'll act like
That's
Now,
it.
one last topic before we do end this part, which has been fantastic. This conversation has been great. It's been very MLS central, I guess you can say. Now, there was a bit of frustration with Austin FC's FO, with the recruitment department, by some fans today. They went on Twitter and they were very upset at the fact that Chicho Arango signed to RSL, but more upset at the fact that he was available and Austin FC didn't go on and get him. Now, I do want to say this. B and Bali remember, maybe they do. Y'all remember when we were recording an episode and I got a
yes, I do.
text message from somebody in LA and they said, hey, Chicho is going to be on the move, and Austin FC might be involved. They might be,
Yeah,
looking
me
at him.
me and
You
Bali
remember
shut you
that day?
down quick. Yeah, we shut you down quick. We were
You guys
like,
shut me down
sit down,
quick.
bro. Sit down. I mean,
I remember that. I remember
yeah.
that. But there was some people saying Austin FC's not even looking at him. Blah, blah, blah. I think that there was maybe contact or some type of conversation, but this guy just wanted too much money. I mean, we really have to think, were we in a position to even go after this guy? I mean, Liga MX came knocking on the door for him, probably offered him a boatload of money. And then RSL comes over and makes him a record signing fee. So I want to start off with you, Scott. I mean, do you share the frustration with many Austin FC fans saying like, oh, if this guy was out there, why didn't we get him? Or do you see it more on the side of things like, hey, this is just forbidden fruit for us, I guess you could say. We can't have it.
I I would want Austin to go after him or a player like him. I don't think that with our roster construction we could have done that without making some pretty major moves, not just to clear up money, but to clear up a spot for him. I think we would have had to get rid of either one of our under 22s or Ring or both to do it. So you would have had to make some pretty like big fundamental changes, even though he's a player that I think would fit really well with what we have or what we would have left over after making those moves. And you know, it also is the extra bonus of hurting one of the other top teams because he was, you know, a really good player for LAFC, and him coming here bolsters us in a way that weakens them. And so that the kind of opportunity cost missing out is it sucks to see.
Yeah, definitely. B, I want to get your
Yeah.
take on this, man, because this is like Chelsea being rumored to sign Harry Kane, and then Harry
Not
Kane goes to like Celta
nothing
de
like that.
Vigo, and then
Not-
Harry Kane comes back to
Nothing
Man
like that.
United. This is just like that, brother. Your
Um,
thoughts, brother? I
I
mean,
I get.
should Austin fans be mad?
Look, bro. I mean, you see it, boom. Oh, I wish we could have him, and then you make a tweet. What the fuck, blah blah. But you got if you read that tweet, think about it, right? You think about your club, like all the points Scott just brought up about having to clear up maybe a under 20 and then a ring, and then maybe both. On top of that, you want to scramble and make these drastic changes. We don't even have a damn Sean Rubio's gonna have to cook that up. We don't have a person to maybe be set up to do that if we need to drastically to make those kind of moves. I don't think that there's a long term, I guess I could say process of maybe that could. So to me, it just never was an idea of us bringing him here. And to me, that's why when you got excited that moment, me and you, we were like, what? You literally got up during the
Y'all
pod.
got mad
Like,
at
what?
me.
Y'all were like,
mad.
what happened?
I
And then we're
remember
like, bro, what happened? And we were like, oh, it's some crazy news. And then you're like, hey, bro, like, you should, bro, sit down, bro. Let's finish the pod. Of course not, bro. You know, so
that.
that was our attitude, and you know, I agree with Scott as well. I wish we could be going for these names, but we're just not in this position to do so. So
Interesting. B saying
hopefully,
Bali. Go ahead, B.
hopefully Messi, something happens, and it these rules can loosen up just a little bit
Yes.
to allow a club like us to be able to make a move like that. So hopefully maybe that helps us, but we'll see.
Facts. Like that is something that a lot of fans were saying. Hopefully, this ends with some ridiculous MLS roster rules. Now, Bali, one of the last takes that we're gonna have on the pod is yours on this subject. B is saying that we can't really be thinking about those kind of players. We're not that club yet. I mean, we're top five spending in MLS. I mean, we're giving guys 6 mil a year, a mil a year, 700,000 a year, 800,000 here, 600,000 there. I mean, is this a guy that could have been within our reach? We got money. Or no? No hay dinero.
I mean, we've been spending a lot of money, and yeah, you're right. But the reality is, we've been spending that money very, very bad. We haven't been managing it well. You know, not well. You know, Pagones, a million. That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of
Deserved,
money.
deserved,
Deserve, but a
deserved,
million?
deserved.
Oof, oof.
And
I
then not
mean,
only that, he gets it, and then where does he just goes ghost?
He's coming back from injury, brother. Coming back from
we
injury.
we we
It's
pay
tough.
we paid
It's tough.
Rigoni, the DP. We gave Drusi his money. Okay, so we've been spending. This move could have been maybe happened maybe in the off season maybe,
You think
but
this could
but
have happened
they could
if
this
we
could have
tried
maybe
enough?
if we really wanted to. But you know who
He's
Josh
trying
Wood
to wait
wanted.
for us.
You know who Josh Wood wanted, right?
Out of this. He wanted
He wanted
G.
his boy. He wanted his
He wanted
guy.
I think
G.
that
Jesus
was an easier
Christ,
move.
the future. Give him a
That
3 year
was an easier
deal.
move.
You
That
But
was
know,
a
but he's
that's the
still
100%
future.
DP.
That's
easier
our
move.
future.
He's not even
He's
a
gonna come
DP.
in. He's gonna come in flying, scoring for us. He's gonna go off. Yeah, that happened.
He's
So
a
you know
depth. He's
we have to deal with it. Hernan. We have to deal with it. We are not going to be going for these top players. We are not. We are just not going to. I would love Juan Dineno from Pumas. I would have loved him, but it's not. It
And
won't happen.
that's why I said give me my boy Ethan Finley over Leo Messi every
oh
day of the
my
week.
god,
Give me
bro,
heart,
stop,
give me
bro.
hustle, give me grit. That's all I want, brother.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
coming
my
from a
G
Madrid
Ethan
fan, I
Finley.
guess.
Oh
Of
my.
course, a Madrid fan would say that.
Just
Of course,
hey,
bro.
you know, just don't tweet negative things about Ethan Finley. His dad'll find you.
That's my G. That's my Brent.
Yeah,
Hey, Brent Finley. Brent
swear.
Finley. Shout out to my G, Brent Finley. He's actually pretty cool. He's actually a
Hey,
pretty cool guy.
yeah.
Out of
No, his Twitter
nowhere,
account's a must follow.
he'll like a random tweet that mentions Finley or like references something he did, and you're like, oh shit, Finley Hive is out here active. You know what I'm saying? Like they're out here. They're out
Yeah,
here.
I know Rodney Redes' family was pulling out receipts when on Instagram when everybody was
Yeah.
showing him love and stuff. I was like, ah, yeah, but what happened to the, yeah, so.
Uh huh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, guess
Rodney's
what?
family blocked
Guess
me.
what?
What?
What happened to the 2 years wherever your nephew or son was
Yeah,
absolute
yeah.
garbage juice, madam or
Yeah.
sir? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, have some shame on that side too. Anything else you want to say, Bali?
No, I was just saying. Yeah, Rodney's family doesn't even like me. They blocked me, so it is what it
Rightfully
is.
so. Rightfully so, bro.
I don't care.
Rightfully
I don't
so,
care. I
bro.
don't care.
If
I
I was
don't
Rodney
care.
Redes'
Ah,
brother,
yeah.
I'd
Hopefully he
fucking beat
leaves
your
Okay.
ass.
quick. Hopefully this
Okay.
offseason he leaves ASAP.
Scott, thank you for coming on here, mate. Is there anything else you want to add on to the pod, Scott? This is a good one.
No, I just want to say thanks for having me. I really enjoyed the time talking to you guys. You know, match day, look for the what you need to know articles about opposing teams,
Yep.
just so you can try to know a little bit and appear a little bit smarter to your friends about what's going on.
Those what you need to knows, they have been helping out a lot of fans get ready for game day previews. Shout out to my G Arch Bell, one of the most probably one of the top two, and he's not number two journalists that covers Austin FC. He actually gave it some love, a like, and a retweet. So that means a lot because Arch Bell, I mean, he's one of the top dogs in this game. So says a lot about the work that you do, Scott, the work that Football Critic does, and also JC. And appreciate it a lot.
Nah, man,
No
for real,
No problem.
y'all do
Thank
a
you.
great job, for real, man.
Let's go.
I salute y'all.
Salute. And on that note, on that note, salute, Bali. It is PTSD Awareness Month. Last month was Mental Health Awareness
Okay.
Month. It is also Pride Month in June. So on that note, we're gonna sign off, y'all. Have a good night. Hopefully SKC, that game is good to us. Hopefully Kevincho brings the bad luck onto his team and he's not rooting for Drusi. And hopefully at the end of the night versus SKC, we got that SKC pack.
Oof.
Later, y'all. Have a good night.